Okay, the directions for 1 through 6 say to evaluate without using a calculator. This is radical form. I'm going to talk about two things, one being rational form and one being radical. Remember, rational form represents a ratio or a fraction. This is a radical right now, or a square root, as a lot of you would consider it to be. So this radical, when I rewrite it, 4 stays out front, and I'm just going to put in parentheses to start with. Keep whatever number is inside of the radical in parentheses. And above it, the number that's on the outside that's kind of hidden within this little V shape is going to go on the bottom. The top number will be a 1 unless you're told otherwise. So we need to evaluate this without using a calculator. This is what this means. What number times itself 3 times gives you negative 125? What number times itself 3 times gives you negative 125? So we can start like this. 1 times 1 times 1, no. 2, 2, 2, no, that's 8. 3, 3, 3, no, 27. 4, 4, 4, 64. 5, 5, 5 is 125. But if I need a negative, it needs to be a negative 5. So this portion right here, the answer is negative 5. And what this means is what times itself 3 times gives you negative 125. The answer is negative 5. And when you take negative 5 and you raise it to the first power, you still end up with negative 5. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Done. Please make sure to write it down. You'll have a portion of your quiz that you get to use a calculator with and a portion that you do not get to use a calculator with. Okay, here's your next one. Although you don't see a number in front, what number is hiding right here? Negative 1. So negative 1 goes in parentheses. The number inside is a negative 8, and we're going to put it 1 over whatever number is hiding outside. We always start with the bottom. So what times itself 3 times gives you negative 8? The answer is negative 2. And negative 2 when raised to the first power is still negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 1 is 2. There's no number out in front, so it's just like a 1. So 32 is on the inside, 5 is on the bottom of the rational exponent, 1 is on the top. What times itself 5 times gives you 32? And for those that don't know, start with ones. 1, 1 times 1 times 1. Nope, ones don't work. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. 16, 32. The answer is 2. These are considered rational form. 1 through 3, is radical form. Considered radical exponent form. 4 through 6 is considered rational exponent form. Some books or some teachers refer to it as fractional exponent form. Same thing. Now, one thing you may not know, before I go over number 4, if I just give you a square root and I put the number 25 inside, and I said, what is the square root of 25? Everyone in this classroom would know the answer is 2. What you probably don't know is that hiding right here in this little area is the number 2. So when you don't see a number there, it's actually the number 2. And think about that. What 2 numbers multiply to give you 25? The answer is 5 and 5. Okay, so let's do this problem together. Go back to exponents. You learned freshman year about the rules of exponents, and we reviewed them with you at the beginning of the last unit. When this number is negative, it says, hey, I'm not happy on top. So this 25 is not happy on top, so I'm going to move it to the bottom. Now it's happy and becomes positive. Now what does this mean? It means what 2 numbers multiply to give you 25? Can anybody share with me what 2 numbers multiply to give you 25? 5 and 5. And then 5, so I'm going to write that over again. So we know this part of the answer is 5, and 5 raised to the first power is still 5. Exponent on top is negative. We're going to move places. If it's on the bottom, we move it up. If it's on top, if it's on the top, it moves to the bottom, and if it's on the bottom, it moves to the top. All right, number 5. Now, this is kind of a tricky one. This is not in parentheses. Does everybody see this? So really what this is like is it's like, hey, there's a -1, and then I have 1 to the 1/4. Here's a negative, and now this is this portion, because it's not in parentheses. We're not going to consider just the -1. So what times itself 4 times gives you 1? And then, so that's 1. This part gives you 1. Always do the bottom first. And 1 to the first power is 1. -1 times +1 is -1. Number 6. Again, this is a hidden -1 out front. What times itself 4 times gives you the number 625? 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, no. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16, no. So 3 is 9, 27, 81. 4s, help me out here without using a calculator. 4 and 4 is 16, 64, 256. 5s, 5 and 5 is 25, 125. What is 125 times 5? Okay, so this portion is 5. What is 5 to the first power? 5. -1 times 5 is -5. All right, person on the left side and person on the right side. April, can you just talk to the two gentlemen in front of you when we go through this? Person on the left side, I want you to explain to your partner how to get number 2. How do you achieve the answer of +2? Person on the left side, you're going to do that in 15 seconds. Ready, get set, and begin. Okay, so guys, this 1, a lot of people are like, where do we get this 1 from? 1 is really the hidden exponent that's on each one of these numbers right here. So whatever the exponent is within the radical form, whatever the exponent is on the number inside of the radical goes on top, and the outside radical goes on the bottom. With your partner, please do not write this down. I'd like you to solve this problem, evaluate this problem in 10 seconds with your partner, and do not use a calculator. Ready? Get set with your partner and go. All right. So I'm hearing a lot of great discussion. Good morning, Audrey. Can you have a seat next to April, please? Can you seat from that position, Audrey? Yeah. April, can you seat from that position? No. Okay. Do me a favor really quick just for today. Please listen. Alma, can you see if you were a few rows back? Can you switch with real quick with April, who came in late, just to make sure she can see? So who has an answer, just guessing, who has an answer right now of 3? Hands up high. Who says -3? Who says 9? Who says -9? Okay, so I'm seeing a few different votes. Let's start with this. Put -27 in parentheses. A reminder that the number out front goes on the bottom and the number inside goes on top. You always perform the bottom number first. What 3 numbers when multiplied give you an answer of -27? Anyone? Nice job. So I know this part of the answer is -3. Now what is negative 3 squared? Done. Okay, flip back to the front side. Now we are going to evaluate these expressions using a calculator, and we will round to the nearest hundredth. So let's start with the calculator, second plus 712. Let's have a fresh start. How do we plug this in? Okay, so we're going to put, please listen up. We're going to put parentheses around the bottom number or the base of the problem. So parentheses negative 192. Then we're going to use the caret key. And we're going to start with parentheses again. Parentheses negative 4 divided by 5 and parentheses. And press enter. We're going to round this to the nearest hundredth. This is tenth. This is hundredth. So does a 4 say round up or stay the same? Since it's less than 5, our final answer will be approximately 0.01. Now, if I told you to do this do this without using a calculator, this would exist, but we just can't come up with the answer ourselves, because really this is what it says. Please listen. What 3 numbers multiply to give you 15? Okay, they have to be the exact same number. So 1 times 1 times 1, no. 2 and 2 is 4 times 2 is 8, no. 3 and 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. That means this number is going to be between 2 and 3, and then I square it afterwards. So if we take the calculator, let's try it again. In parentheses 15. Caret key parentheses, bless you. Remember the number right here will always be the bottom number. The number outside or inside next to the 15 will always be the top number. This is radical form. This is rational exponent form, or sometimes referred as fractional exponent form. 2 divided by 3. And again, we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. This is tenths. This is hundredth. 6.08 approximately. Please do number 9 and do number 10 with your partner. Since you have a calculator, I'm going to provide you with only 30 seconds to do 9 and 10. Go ahead. Okay, Gilbert, what do you have for the answer for number 9? Nice job. He used the word approximately as well, and he rounded correctly. Great job. Okay, going on to number 10. Number 10, Sire, what do you have for the answer?
Approximately 0.4.
Great job. Can you raise your hand if you have both number 9 and number 10 correct? Okay, ready? Flip the paper to the back again. Going to test you. Here's your problem. You may not use a calculator. Take your calculator and flip it over, please. Whoop, sorry. With your partner, can you read that? Is it dark enough? Okay, with your partner, you have 45 seconds to come up with this answer. No calculator can be allowed. Ready, get set, go. 5 seconds. Please have your pencil down, whether you're done or not. In 3, 2, and 1. Okay, pencils down, please. If we pretended this was a test question and you had to put some answer down, how many of you have an answer, a final answer of -3? Hands up high. One person, 2 people. How many of you have a final answer of +3? Okay, about 5 or 6. How many of you have an answer of +1/3? How many have an answer of -1/3? Does anybody have a number that I have not stated? Okay, let's talk about this quick. So I want a number that I can take times itself 4 times. Now let's go back. You are smart kids. What do you know? Please listen. What do you know about the number of spaces I put down? Make a general statement. How many spaces did I put down? What type of a number is 4? 4 is a even number. If you take any number times itself an even number of times, what type of general number will you always end up with? The answer is not even or odd. It's a different. You'll always end up with a positive. You cannot take a number times itself an even number of times and get a negative. So, for those that said -3, -3 times itself 4 times is not -81, it is positive. So I don't even care about this stuff. This is no real solution. Okay, on your own. All right, let's test your math skills here. All right, are you ready? You have 30 seconds on your own without a calculator to solve this problem. Begin. On your own, please. In 5, pencil down, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 5 spaces. So often in the past when students were learning about radical form and rational form, without using a calculator they wouldn't know where to start. So think of it this way. If I start with 1, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. I know it's not 32. Let's try 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, 16, and 32. So I know the possibility of 2 is correct. But if I put down 5 2's, what answer are you going to get? Positive. Now if I make them negative, an odd number of negatives gives you a negative answer. Just like an even number of negatives gives you a positive. This gives you negative 32. So negative 2 is the answer. When I think about it, these two forms are equivalent. Radical exponent form, rational exponent form. This portion of the answer is negative 2. Now remember it has a negative 1 above it. This says, hey, I'm not happy where I am. I'm not happy that I'm on top. So if it goes to the bottom of the fraction, this negative now turns into a positive. The final answer is negative 1/2. Now, whether you write that negative down below or on the side, it makes no difference as long as there's only one negative. Did anybody have an answer of negative 1/2? Nice job. Very nice job. Okay, flip the paper to the front side. Attention back up here, please. Thanks, guys. In 1 through 10, we just evaluated. We evaluated without a calculator and using a calculator. Now, down below, we are going to solve these problems. They have an equal sign, so we are going to solve. Our first goal will be to isolate the x. So watch me do the first one. Most students enjoy doing this. if you were good at basic algebra, you're just applying one more concept onto this. So I'm going to put a line straight through the equal sign. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So far, I've isolated the x. Adding 7 gives you 32. Now, here's the deal. To get rid of the exponent of 5, you're going to raise it to the reciprocal of 5. What is the reciprocal of positive 5? And a lot of students say negative 1/5. Well, the reciprocal of 5 is you don't change the sign, you just flip it around. So 5 over 1, the reciprocal is 1 over 5. So raise both sides to 1 over 5. The 5 and the 1/5 on the left will cancel. And now we're going to solve this part. Now, it doesn't say that you have to use a calculator, you don't have to use a calculator. That's basically up to you. So let's practice both ways. Grab the calculator, please. Put 32 in parentheses. Raise it to the parentheses 1/5. And your answer is 2. Circle, done. All right, next one, I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Adding 8 to a negative 440 gives you negative 432. Divide 432 by 2. Negative 216. How do I cancel out a power of 3? I raise it to the reciprocal, which is 1/3. Now, if you're going to choose to use a calculator, it's important to use parentheses. So in your calculator, you're going to do beginning parenthesis, negative 216, end parenthesis, raise it to the 1/3 power in parentheses, and I believe the answer is negative 6. You can check with me and see if I'm correct. Yes, no? All right, with your partner, you're going to be timed. Number 13, you have 20 seconds. Begin. So I have a question for you. In this part right here, how many have an answer of 2? Hands up high if you have an answer of 2. Let's go back and check. You ready? I want to check right here. So I want you on your calculator, please listen to me so everybody can hear. Please take 2, raise it to the 6th, and then press enter. Ready? Go. Take 2, raise it to the 6th, and then press enter. Take it times 3, press enter, subtract 12. Does it equal 180? Okay, next thing. I want you to attempt to do the same thing, but this time I want you to put negative 2 in parentheses. Please put negative 2 in parentheses, raise it to the 6th, press enter, take it times 3, press enter, subtract 12. Do you still get a positive 180? Yes or no? Okay. When this number is even, and it's an even number greater than 2, this will be a positive and a negative. When the exponent is even and it's greater than 2, it will be both a positive and a negative. So how many answers do you predict over here? 2. How many answers here? It's odd. 1. How many answers here? 2. 1. And last one is 1. Okay, with your partner right now, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I want 14 through 27. Oh my gosh, I misnumbered these. Please to get 14 and then 24 through 27 done. Go ahead.